called sweet tea fried chicken. So I'm sweet tea brining it first.
Brining is a great tip, whether you use buttermilk or sweet tea or vinegar and sugar and make more of a pickly chicken. Brining is essential, don't you think?
It is. It's a marinade without respect to alkaline or acid. It's kind of like really into the science of it. But it's more just about the water and the flavoring and salt. And salt is so crucial in fried chicken. You know, when you bite into a really good piece of fried chicken,
that's what keeps it moist.
Yes, and sometimes it's just the skin that's good. Yep. You gotta brine it. So sweet tea in here.
Beautiful.
And then I'm adding in salt
to dissolve.
To dissolve.
That's why you heat it up.
Just to heat it up a little bit. Sometimes, I mean, if you've got a fierce whisk, you can just go hard on it and see if you can do it without heating it up. But the heat does help it dissolve a lot faster. And then what I like to do is chunk some lemon, squeeze, squeeze, get it in there.
Squeeze, squeeze, get it in there.
Then just whisk it up. And this is a good basic brine. A lot of times I'll add rosemary, thyme.
Sure, you can add herbs to the sweet tea.
Yeah, you can do lime. You don't even need the acid, okay, because this is a brine and you don't really
You need the salt.
Yes, you just need the salt, and the sugar really is important to me.
Well, I love the balance of salt and sweet in this. I make a cider brine chicken. Much the same.
Same here.
Sweet tea is a great substitute.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Apple cider in your brine is genius, girlfriend.
Yeah, yummy.
Okay, so it cools down, and then you get it into a plastic bag just like this. And then you're gonna rest it. I like to do it overnight, but you can do as little as 4 to 6 hours.
Right.
And
if you're gonna do it overnight, put it in the lowest part of your fridge, just for food safety, of course, because it's still raw chicken.
Right, so then you come over here after it's done brining, and then I pour it out.
Just into a big old colander.
Big old colander, no big deal. Now, coincidentally, if you're going to fry this right away, a really good tip is to leave this in the brine on the counter for only up to 2 hours.
Sure, you keep food safety.
To 2 hours for food safety, because you should never fry cold chicken.
Yep.
Never. It should always be room temperature. Wait 2 hours at room temperature for it to get room temp to the bone. That way, you bite in and it's good to go. Same thing with steaks.
You don't really cook anything. Your steak will seize up. You never put cold meat on a hot surface either.
That's right.
You always cook from room temperature.
Okay, so now we're gonna make the dredging station, which is very simple. I don't do the bowls and the hands and they're all gummy. I just use a nice good old paper brown bag.
I make mine in a sack too. You throw it in there and give it a shake.
That's what we're gonna do. So now, first things first, when you think about dredging anything that you're going to fry, if the coating comes off, what you might be doing wrong is you forget that it's kind of like a Velcro thing. So you've got slick skin. We can't put slick skin into an egg wash. It'll roll right off. So we're gonna do slick skin into dry, into wet, then back into dry.
Right.
Okay? All right, so in here I've got a little bit of flour, and then I'm gonna add in a few teaspoons or tablespoons of cornstarch. The reason I use cornstarch, well, I was in the Air Force and I spent a lot of time in Korea, and they can fry some chicken. And it's all about cornstarch and the crunch.
Yep.
So if you want to get a crispier crunch in your chicken, a little bit of cornstarch creates more bubbles, which means more crunch on your chicken. Right. Shake it up. Where's the salt? Put a little bit of salt in there.
Salt's right in front of you.
Oh, I put it all into the brine. Hey, salt, y'all!
It was here. Oh, it's back there.
I just wanted to try it again.
We found it, it's okay.
So much fun. Okay, so then a little bit of salt in there, and that just gets shaken up.
Gotcha.
And then these are 2 eggs right here, a little salt, some cayenne pepper. I like to season every single layer of my dredge to ensure that it gets there. You wanna whisk that up for me?
Thank you.
The eggs look like they're too tight. I add just a little bit of water. Okay, so chicken goes in. And remember, this is already brined chicken. We had just the lemon, a little bit of sweet tea in there, salt, and you're good to go. So I get those in there. I'm such a lefty.
It's okay.
I get on TV and I try to be like everybody else. I just want to be a right-handed girl. Okay, so just shake.
Give it a little shake.
And it's really more of a, because you know, there'll be a flour plume in your kitchen.
Yeah.
So just kind of like gently
gentle
toss. Go in. Come out with one here. And then shake a little bit so you don't gum up your egg wash. Into the egg wash.
And then he goes right back.
Right back in. All right? So after these go back in.
We've got some already done down there, son, if you want
We've
to
got
show.
some down here already sitting on a baking sheet on a wire rack. What I like to do is let my chicken sit for about 15 minutes after it runs through the last dredge of the flour so that the flour can suck into and adhere to the egg wash.
Great.
It makes for a cleaner oil, so you don't have to go through and take out all the little crunchies. And then just get it into the oil. Now, the oil is important as well.
Right.
I love to fry at 350 degrees, but I let it get to about 375 because you know when you fill up the pool, all the temperature goes down, and all the temperatures are different for the...
And let it reheat,
Yeah.
right?
You got
Each
it
time,
in between
each
batch, yes. And each piece of chicken is gonna cook at a different amount of time, but I say wings start at 12 minutes and then you go up from there.
You know, sometimes I cut the breast, you know, you get a piece of breast that's already a split breast. Sometimes I cut it across so that the leg and the thigh and the breast all are the similar shape and they cook a little closer together in cook time.